The purpose of this video is to demonstrate how to use the while true loop to create a menu-driven program. One of the advantages to using the while true loop is to be able to create menus within an application or program, or command line interfaces that wait for the user input. So with that in mind, as you can see, this pseudocode defines a menu of graphic designs. So you notice how the while true loop surrounds all of the instructions. All of the instructions that are associated with repeating are indented, and Python will indent every 4 horizontal spaces. So as soon as you type in the while true and press a colon, the Python program automatically does an indentation, and it's usually like every 4 spaces per tab. If you were to press the tab key, it is best to use the tab key for the indentation. If the tab key does not work, use the control with the tab, or if you're using your Apple, to be your command and tab. So within the instructions, we're going to display, this program displays different turtle graphics designs, and a menu will show up. We will create this menu, display a menu, press 0 to end the program. We ask the user to press 1 to display square, press 2 to display double diamond, press 3 to display stop sign, press 4 to display a simple house. A nested if statement or case construct will be used. If the choice is 0, we see the indentation where it breaks or ends the program. If the choice is 1, the program will display a square. If the choice is 2, display a double diamond. Choice 3, display a stop sign. Choice 4, display a simple house. And then we indicate where the nested if ends, and we dedent or backspace, and this is where the while loop ends. In other words, the last statement of the if statement that is indented is where the nested if terminates. The last statement that is indented within the loop is where the while loop will terminate. And of course, the program, we end the program. Before we actually create this menu of designs, we want to make sure that you understand we're going to be using the graphics user interface window rather than the output window that we have been using in previous text-based programming concepts, which were assignments 1 and 2, as well as 4. The best way to create this menu driven program using that graphical user interface is to recognize the divisions of the monitor. And basically, when you use the graphical user interface, it's actually the division of the window, not necessarily not the monitor itself. The best way to create this menu driven program is to look at how the Turtle Graphics window is divided. It is set up based upon the Cartesian coordinate, where your x-axis is horizontal, your y-axis is vertical, and of course going to the right side is the positive side or east side of your screen. That's the x-axis. If you go up or north, that's your y-axis, and it has the plus coordinates. If you go to the left side of the y-axis, you'll be looking at the negative x coordinate with the positive y, and going south and the west side, it is the negative y-axis. The reason why I'm saying this is because you want to move the pen or the pointer to the upper left hand corner. So the x-axis is going to be negative and the y-axis will be positive. So I'll choose a negative 400 comma 350 to position my pen in that location. So let's see what it's going to look like when we actually go into Python. So in Python, we're going to import the turtle we're going to import time so that we can specify times. These are modules that we can use in order to take advantage of the methods or functions associated with these modules. So we use turtle, and we're going to change the background color of this window. And we can also add a title in the upper left hand corner of the window. And then we're going to change the position of the pen or the cursor. Let's also we'll go ahead on and change the shape. Change the shape of the pen or the cursor. Sometimes they call it the chevron. So we'll say turtle dot shape, and we'll change it to the turtle shape. Okay, so let's run this program and see what it does and how it impacts the screen, the graphical window or screen. And as you can see, it changed. If you look in the title bar area of this window, it says Turtle Graphics Menu, and you can see where it moved the pointer up here in the top quadrant, the upper left hand corner, which was a negative 400, 350. The next step is we're going to use the while true loop to create a menu. So we're going to say while true. After I end this construct or structure with the colon, I press the enter key and Python automatically does the indentation. So the next step is I'm going to format the pen or the cursor by saying I'm going to change the turtle. You can say width or pen size. Either one of these are acceptable. I'll say 5. Turtle dot pen color, and I'll just make it purple. Because my background is that light yellow, you always, on a light background, you're going to write dark. If you have a dark background, you need to choose light so that you can read the text against the background. I'll just say purple. And this, of course, changes the width, and this changes the pen color itself. Nothing has happened so far because you don't see the writing. I just terminated that. So now I'm going to display the actual outside title of my menu itself. Okay, so the next step is going to be to create a title. So what I'm going to do, let me just make sure we're indenting correctly. I'm going to use the turtle.write method, and I want to write graphical design menu. So in that method, the first parameter or the object is going to be the title or the caption or label that you want for the menu. You can just choose that. Next, I can change the font size, I can format it a certain way. So I'm going to say font is equal to, and I'm going to change it to Arial. I think by default it is Courier. So I'll do Arial, and I'm going to make the font size 20. I'm going to bold it, and I'm going to underline it. I'm going to close off those parameters associated with the font option, and then I'm going to use the parentheses to close out the write method itself. So let's run it and see what it looks like. So in the upper left hand quadrant, we wrote graphical design menu. We changed the font size to 20. We changed the color to purple. It's Arial, and it is underlined. Stay tuned for the next video, which will describe the entire steps for creating the entire menu driven program using the while true loop.